you have this empathy, you have this sadness, and you can see the players. Nobody wants to die. I mean, how often we're playing Dungeons and Dragons do you have a character that actually gets wiped out?
Welcome to the Character Sheet, comicbook.com's official home for tabletop and fantasy news. I'm Christian Hoffer, one of the hosts of the Character Sheet, and today I'm joined by one of my favorite people, Matthew Lillard. Matthew, how are you?
Brother, it is good to see you yet again.
I know.
I've seen you in 2 months.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's great. You know, we got to chat about your whiskey last time, and this time we get to talk about Faster Purple Worm Kill, and I'm very proud I actually got the name of the show right, something I couldn't do at Gen Con. So, my first question is, are you excited that this is finally out and people finally get to watch all the episodes? Because you guys filmed this a while back, right?
Yeah, back in April. And if you think about like pre-production and everything that went into the show, we're about a year into the process now. So yeah, we're thrilled. I will say that it was on Monday night, we had the big premiere. We had a big premiere of all 3 shows, Heroes Feast, Encounter Party, and Us. And all 3 of these shows are original content for Dungeons and Dragons Adventures, and which you can find on Freevee and Plex. Anyways, that's the business end of it. But to sit there and to see the community come out to see the show, I mean, we've seen it now a million times, and we've gone through the whole post process, and we're like, we just want people to sort of get it now. And it was really rewarding. My wife had never seen it. And even she would love the show, so that's something for my wife. So it's been really great. It's been it's nice to have it out.
Now, you've been a gamer for a very long time. Did you ever imagine that you would get to see like Dungeons and Dragons, not like the franchise, but the game appear on a big screen?
No, definitely not. I mean, when I was coming up, obviously, Dungeons and Dragons was, you would never be caught dead wearing a D&D shirt. Nobody would make a Dungeons and Dragons shirt. I mean, those things just didn't exist. And here we are, and look, for us specifically, with Beadle and Grimm's and sort of the creation of a business, a company that's thriving, 4 of the 5 members of the company have left their full-time jobs and are working full-time for Beadle and Grimm's. It's just this renaissance for Dungeons and Dragons right now. I mean, there's just this huge groundswell of support for the brand, for the game, and we're Faster Purple Worm is just another piece of that sort of the tsunami of the game sort of coming in, and it feels like it's everywhere right now, that's for sure.
So what are the challenges for each episode of Faster Purple Worm Kill is a contained story? And what are the challenges of trying to distill that story down into an hour-long arc or episode?
Yeah, so every episode is 4 first-level characters going off into the world to become the heroes of legend. And each episode, they come face-to-face with an epic Dungeons and Dragons monster and get completely obliterated, which is hilarious. Every single show is fun. And the challenge of it really is, Dungeons and Dragons plays. When you sit down at the table, you're running a 3-hour game, a 4-hour game, however long, you're taking pizza breaks in the middle. The tempo of the game is very extrapolated. So getting people into our mechanic, into the speed in which things have to happen, into, we play at what's essential to the game is that we take the game deadly serious and allow comedy to be born out of the stakes, to allow comedy to be born out of what's happening to the characters and what the characters do in these incredible circumstances. So really finding people that are good at yes-anding, that can operate quickly and sort of understand the tempo of the game is number one sort of challenge to it. The good news is, we have an incredible production crew, and the editors for our show are remarkable. I think we had 12 to 13 cameras on set at all times. So we were able, I think the longest game we had was 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
I think I was the DM of that game. I was a horrible DM because, I had been the entire time producing the show, and I knew exactly what it took, and I played in all the practice tests. But for me to DM, I got lost, and we were 1 hour and 20 minutes in, the good news is that it still cuts down to 48 minutes perfectly. You don't miss a single thing that's taken out. And at the end of the day, you know, the shows are, each one of them, a success. I mean, they're all really, really great.
Did any cast members come when they were pitching characters and they're like, here's my 13-page backstory, and you're just like, no, they're going to die?
You know, it's like we wanted those backstories.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't want 13 pages. We wanted everyone to have a really firm grasp on who they were.
Mm-hmm.
Bold, strong choices going into a quick game like this serve everything. They serve the people around you. They serve the DM. They serve the audience. Like, we want to know exactly who you are, what you're committed to, and what drives that character. Now, whether it was 13 pages, we're never getting to that stuff, but you having an idea of who you're playing and why you're playing them, and having a strong point of view for Faster Purple Worm that's the sweetness. I mean, that's sort of the thing that makes the show work.
So, was there any particular character that when you got to watch them go through this process, you were just really pulling for and hoping that would survive? You know, we're just praying, hope beyond hope, that this character would live to see another day.
All of them. The funny thing is that, you know, we in the show, you fall in love with these characters, right? There's 4 first level characters, and everyone is. We brought all these incredible players, so everyone's bringing this energy. They're all very charming. They're all very telegenic, and you sort of fall in love with all of them. And I will say the odd thing is that when they're getting obliterated, right, when they're getting completely destroyed by Tiamat or some other ancient monster, you feel it actually. You have this empathy, you have this sadness, and you can see the players. Nobody wants to die. I mean, how often when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons do you have a character that actually gets wiped out? I mean, it very rarely happens. So you would see people get verklempt. I mean, you would see people get upset. One of the things I think makes the show special, in my opinion, is that we created at the end of the game. The game, so everyone knows, is played in front of a live studio audience. We have an accompaniment, like we have, you know, Scott Pastorella plays live accompaniment as the show goes on. Wow. And we have a host. So Bill Rayor, is a member of Beadle Grimm, is an incredible asset to the game. He's an incredible host. And what he does is at the end of every game, he finds a moment that happens in the story and he weaves in this, what we call the epitaph. And what happens is that each one of these characters, and we talked about this in pre-production, we want you to play righteous. We want you to play a very serious character. Be fun. Have these moments of frivolous sort of joy. But at the end, in the epitaph, find something like, can you give somebody closure as they've just found a character, fallen in love with a character, and then lost a character. And so can you seek closure in a really human way in that last beat? And that's one of the things we talked about in pre-production. That's one of the things that Bill sort of sets up that epitaph moment for. And the crazy thing is that all of these epitaphs have this weight behind them that's sort of like nothing you've seen before in a D&D game, right? You're funny, you're laughing, and then there's like these really emotional moments at the end, which, you know, they're not sappy, they're not dramatic, but they're kind of lovely. There's it's closure. It's really, it's one of the cool aspects, I think.
So who decides what monsters appear on the show? Is that left up to the GMs that you bring in, or is that like, you know, like the production team? Who decides which monster gets to kill?
Yeah, we let the DMs decide that. I mean, we really wanted them to. Our goal is to provide framework to these really creative, unbelievably talented DMs, right? And so they came in and said, "Hey, I want a Tiamat, I want a dragon, I want a purple, whatever." You know, we are, first person gets it, right? And if they were a little off, and we had an incredible mini from WizKids was an incredible partner for us. They gave us all kinds of monsters, and so we would offer, like, well, what about this? Does this work? As well as, if not, we'll stay with your idea. Because having a mini was really good, right? It was one of the things that, you know, we'd bring the mini in, slam it down on the table, and it was super fun. But we tried to give the DMs as much, sort of room to express themselves as we could.
Mm-hmm. And kind of on a related note, did any of the DMs use the monsters in really surprising ways? Because it would be really easy, like, for instance, like a red dragon to kill a group of like level 1 adventurers. So did you see them like use those monsters in like really unique or surprising or unexpected ways, given the framework of the show?
I don't know. It's funny because in general, there's one rule in the entire game. In general, it's roll a niche, and every character sort of gets an attack, right? Like we try to give every character their first attack in some heroic way.
Okay.
But then it was really, the show is never about combat.
Mm-hmm.
The show is really about what you do, what these heroes do when faced with their ultimate weakness. That's the human aspect of the show. So the reality was that when you get to the combat, we wanted to go fast because we don't really care, right? Anytime we're in like the third round of combat, we've lost the plot. So
yeah.
In general, they use a lot of legendary actions right off the bat to be like, okay, we're gonna end this. Because at the end of the show, you're like, it's all about the setup,
mm-hmm.
not the fight.
Okay. So, obviously there's a rotating cast in the show. Is there any dream guests that you hope to have on in like future, I'm assuming, I'm just going to assume that the show is a success and you guys are going to come back and do more. Any dream guests that you want to appear on like the next round of episodes?
Yeah, a million of them. I mean, for me, I think for the Beadle and Grimm guys, and for Watson, one of the things we're really proud of is the table sort of is as diverse as the tapestry of this community, mm-hmm. right? So we definitely want to keep going with that. That's important to us. And I want to keep pushing the boundaries, like Down syndrome kids. Can you do something with like is there a blind group out there that plays? Is there a deaf group out there that plays? Can we sort of illuminate different sort of gameplay that we've seen on traditional TV? I think that's super exciting. The idea of, we have celebrities, I would love to keep bringing in different celebrities that are interested in playing, that are fun and are funny. Like, Stephen Colbert is obviously a fan of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm putting it out there. We love Stephen Colbert coming to play the show. That'd be incredible. And, for us, we would love Mercer. We love the whole Critical Role team to kind of come in and play a game.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great Glass Cannon Network show that is their rhythm. It's their comedy. They all know each other so well. And it was like sitting at their home table and playing in this style. So for us, the idea of inviting, Critical Role and the way they play applied to this, I think Mercer would be a blast, and the whole crew would be incredible. But yeah, I mean, from your lips to God's ears, I mean, we hope the show's a success. And Christian, I think one of the important things is that if we collectively as a community want this kind of content to be made, we've got to support it. I mean, we've got people come out. It's a little off the beaten path. It's on Plex, it's on Freebie. Freebie's the Amazon a fast channel. And so, we're looking for more avenues down the road. I know that, D&D and E1's trying to set it up on more traditional sort of streaming platforms,
mm-hmm.
Making it available to download, which would be great. But right now, it's not right down the middle, and so we really need people out there to take the initiative and find it, because I think the show is going to be great. And I think it's a love letter to D&D, and the show's fun, so you just have to find it.
So have time for one last question. Do you think that, we talked a little bit about this the last time we talked about the show, but do you think that this like more focused format of actual play is kind of like the future for actual play? Because, we've seen Critical Role where their episodes go 4 hours long, but one of the things that D&D Adventures, both Faster Purple Worm Kill and Encounter Party are doing is they're offering a much more focused, type of a D&D experience. Do you think that is going to be like the like one of the secret sauces to making these like D&D TV shows and getting even more mainstream exposure, is trying to find different ways of presenting Dungeons and Dragons besides like the long rambling campaigns?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Look, I think that people consume TikTok videos constantly, hours at a time. I think that the way people consume media is changing dramatically. Also, you have to tip your hat to a game like Critical Role. They are maintaining those eyeballs, maintaining that community, and people that love that. Not everyone is that group of actors. They're incredible. They're incredible to watch. They're all charming. It's like sitting at their table, and there's like to capture that magic is very difficult. So I think that that's the outlier, not the norm. I think that Fast Purple Worm is a super fun way to play this game. And, we have hopes and dreams of doing all kinds of stuff that supports this format going forward. But we'll see how it does on the show. But our hope is that, the people, look, you're going out and you want to hang out. Somebody's in my back here. If you want to go out and hang out, and you want to squeeze in a game, then you can play a Fast Purple Worm game and have a blast. Because it is about sitting around the table, hanging out with your friends, and playing a game. That's the best way to spend it.
So I have one extra final question. Are you guys going to release an official Faster Purple Worm Kill rule set so that everyone can play this type of game at home?
We have very deep desires to do that. But it's no longer our IP. We partner. It's a really great partnership for us as a brand. It's a great partnership for us as a company. And having such close relationship with Dungeons and Dragons, we feel like we are on the road to doing something like that.
Okay.
But it's not up to only us.
Okay. Well, on that note, Faster Purple Worm Kill episodes come on twice a week on D&D Adventures. So you can catch
Saturday at 9:00.
Yes.
And Heroes Feast and Encounter Party are also on Dungeons and Dragons Adventures, both great shows.
Yep, and that's on Amazon Freevee and what's the other platform? Flex, yes. Okay, thank you very much for appearing, and be sure to like and subscribe this video.